Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I created my newest whale clay art piece, Rise from Within, from start to finish, after more than 72 hours of work. But what surprised me most wasn't actually how long it took. It was how emotional this piece became while I was creating it. Because somewhere between sculpting the ocean, the mountains, and the whale itself, this artwork started reminding me of something I think a lot of people forget. Sometimes healing doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes you rise little by little. And later in this video, I'll show you the tiny final details that completely brought this piece to life. So let's start creating. Before I even touched the clay, I already had this feeling, almost like a knowing, of what I wanted this piece to carry. I wanted it to feel calming but powerful at the same time, hopeful, emotional, peaceful, and strong. I kept imagining a whale slowly rising from the ocean during sunset. Not rushing, not forcing anything, just rising naturally. And honestly, I think a lot of us need that reminder. Sometimes growth doesn't look loud, sometimes it's simply choosing to keep going. Choosing to believe in yourself again, choosing to come back to the surface. I created this piece for anyone who feels like they've been underwater emotionally for too long and needs a reminder that they can still rise. That's where the name Rise from Within came from. One thing people don't always realize is how much layering goes into my clay art. Every little texture, every color transition, every tiny detail is placed by hand and pressed with my fine little spatula. Sometimes I would look at it and think, where is this even going? But I kept trusting the process. And I think life can feel like that too. You keep adding tiny little layers, tiny efforts, tiny moments of healing, and one day, everything starts coming together. The whale was definitely the most important part of this piece. I spent so much time shaping the movement and texture because I wanted it to feel emotional, not just realistic. For me, whales represent wisdom, intuition, depth, and emotional strength. There's something so powerful about such a massive creature moving gently through the ocean. I wanted this whale to feel strong, but also calm and peaceful, because I think real strength often looks quiet. And while I was sculpting it, I kept thinking about how many people are silently carrying heavy emotions while still trying to move forward every single day. That's why this piece means so much to me. I want people to actually feel something when they see it. For the background mountains, I added so many tones inspired by the Kaikoura Ranges here in New Zealand. Warm sunset tones mixed with icy, snowy textures and cooler colors. At some stage, the mountains honestly looked messy and unfinished, but I kept reminding myself to trust the process, even when it didn't fully make sense yet, even when it looked like random layers of clay, because I had this feeling that eventually these mountains would become something powerful behind the whale. And honestly, I think life is like that too. Sometimes we're still becoming. Then came the ocean. I wanted the water to feel calm but alive, like movement was happening underneath the surface. And for the sunset, I wanted everything to feel warm, glowing, and almost dreamlike. So I mixed of oranges, deep reds, yellows, pinks, purples, and blues into the sky. I also added little swirls into the clouds and wind because I love movement in my pieces. It makes the artwork feel alive to me. This next part is where everything finally started coming alive. This is one of my favorite parts of creating clay art. Adding the tiny bubbles, water splashes, highlights, reflections, and all the little final textures. Suddenly the whole artwork starts breathing with emotion. Sometimes I step away from the piece multiple times because I love coming back with fresh eyes. And usually my intuition tells me exactly what it still needs. Sometimes more texture, sometimes less, sometimes a completely different color. I think that's one of the reasons I love clay art so much. It teaches me to trust myself, to trust the process, and to keep creating even when I can't fully see the final result yet. And here is the final piece. Rise from within. Honestly, this piece feels very personal to me. I think we all go through seasons where life feels heavy, uncertain, overwhelming, or emotionally exhausting. But I create this piece to remind people that even after difficult seasons, there is still strength within you, still beauty within you, still something powerful inside of you, ready to rise again. And I hope that when people bring this piece into their homes, they don't just see a whale. I hope they feel encouraged every time they look at it. The original Rise From Within piece is currently available on my website, and I also create prints so more people can bring this artwork into their spaces. You can find everything on my website at ecloart.nz. And if this video connected with you emotionally, I think you'll really love the next video on screen right now. How art can gently change the way you love yourself. Because in that video, I share other of my clay art processes, but also something much deeper about how creativity can slowly transform the way we see ourselves. I'll see you there.